Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
Well, good morning, one and all, and happy Labor Day to those who celebrate. No, I am not Larry O'Connor. I'm Andrew Langer. In this week for Larry, who I believe is hanging out with the good supporters of the Media Research Center. We love those guys over there. Joining me today, I'm joining her today. Really, I'm in her house. Her name is Bethany Mandel. Hello, Bethany. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep because I did this thing where I laid in bed and I thought about how much sleep I was going to get, and then it made me nervous, and then I just stayed up and up and up and up, and now I'm just wired.
Time out. Was it my fault?
Yes, actually, because I tweeted you go to sleep, and then I jinxed myself.
That's exactly. You never do that. Yes, I was tweeting last night when I got to bed. And Bethany tweeted at me there. Listen, we've got a great show today, as we do on every Monday morning, even though it is a holiday. And by the way, thank you for tuning in. If you have the day off today, we got Joe Jadenova. He is joining us at 7:05, legal analyst and former U.S. attorney to the District of Columbia. Lots and lots to discuss with him. We got Mark Morano from Climate Depot joining us today. Adam Gillette, president of Accuracy in Media. And Maria Flores, a former member of Congress from Texas. I had my own experience, Bethany, with a member of Congress. How was your weekend?
My weekend was not nearly as exciting as yours. My car has been in the shop for 3 weeks now, and so we can't transport all of our family because I have 6 children. Some of your listeners might know that, and so we don't have a car that can transport more than half of our family, and so we've basically been homebound for 3 weeks.
But this is what the Democrats want.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes,
it's true.
yes. No.
You have had a more exciting weekend than I have. So
hold on. No, we got to peel this back. So because that's exactly, you are experiencing the Democrat dream of not being allowed to transport families in their cars. This is tough. So what do you guys do? You run it in shifts? You do relay races?
So, we just haven't done anything for 3 weeks, and my kids are going, out of their minds stir crazy.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. The privilege of getting in a car and go. Yeah. My weekend was great. We have a tradition, actually. I don't think I've ever talked about this on the air. We have a thing called Langer Fest. Every year, and Langer is the Langer gene is the predominant gene in my family because technically my cousin who hosts Langer Fest is her last name is not Langer, and so we gathered in New York,
in the city or in the state.
In the city, so she lives in the Village. And which I know sounds very bucolic, but of course it isn't. In a lovely apartment. You're
not allowed to use words that big this early in the morning.
I know. Yes. Well, listen. I got a little bit more than 3 hours of sleep last night, but last week as we're gearing up to go to New York, I'm like, I wonder what's going on in the city, and I discovered that the Who, the classic rock band, the Who, was doing their. Oh, please, Michael. Yes. So the Who is on their farewell, The Song Is Over tour, and they were playing their final Madison Square Garden. I get tears in my eyes just talking about it. And I'm like, something, we're going to this concert. And there were still good seats available. And my kids are classic rock fans, my 2 girls, my wife. None of them have ever seen the Who. And so I wait, but they've canceled a couple of shows. I don't know if you're aware of this, Bethany,
no.
but they've canceled a couple of shows on the tour. So I said, okay, I'm going to wait until the day of, and so Saturday afternoon, I'm watching the tickets, and then finally scored these great seats just up on the side of the arena next to the stage, and we're at the concert. It's a fantastic concert. Here's the thing that I don't get. How old are your folks still around?
No, they've been dead for a long time. But that was unscripted. They were young when they died too.
No, I'm sorry about that. So I have a mother who passed away when I was very young, but my dad and stepmom. My dad's 89. My stepmom is 81. So she's the same age as Roger Daltrey, the lead singer of the Who. And there's a very big difference between Roger Daltrey 81 and my mother 81. My stepmother certainly can't do the things that Roger Daltrey is doing. Anyways, get to the concert. It's an amazing concert. It's a farewell show, Madison Square Garden. 36 times they've played at MSG. And we're getting ready to leave, and I turn around, and there I see a guy. I'm like, I know this guy. And it was Paul Ryan, former Speaker of the House at the Who concert, Madison Square Garden. And I try beating feet to get to him because, frankly, I don't know if you're aware of this. I'm responsible for Paul. I'm going to take credit for this. Paul Ryan becoming the VP selection in 2012.
How'd you do that?
I had a conversation with somebody in my family's minivan. It was after a lunch in D.C. And then somebody from the campaign, who should we select as our running mate? And I said, me and a buddy of mine, we said Paul Ryan, because of all the work in the Tea Party movement. And at the time, Paul Ryan was considered a conservative stalwart
and so a total hottie.
Yeah, well, yes, well.
My friend Lindsay Fifield used to run a blog. Hey there, it's Paul Ryan.
Yes, I remember this. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, listen. This is. Listen, it seems like 1,000 years ago.
I know.
Yes,
we were summer children.
I mean, all the things in that sentence. Paul Ryan is a hottie. Lindsay Fifield running a blog. I mean, all of these things 1,000 years ago. So I never got actually a chance to go up. No, and by the way, no, I'm not actually taking credit for Paul Ryan becoming the vice president candidate, though I would have said that to him.
Yeah, but I think it was Lindsay. I think Lindsay did it.
Something it's probably true. So, yeah, I mean, it was, and I'll tell you the other thing about the weekend, being in New York, I don't know if it's because there's a mayor's race on and Eric Adams is trying to clean this up, but no weed smell, like very little weed smell.
That's fascinating.
Yes. Heather, we were just talking before the show. I don't know when the last time you were in New York, but every time I come to New York, it's almost like I've got to hose myself down.
My kids say it's disgusting. So I need to correct myself for the sake of my group chat. My friend Emily Zanotti, it appears, started Hey There, It's Paul Ryan, and Lindsay helped her with it. I'm in a group chat with the both of them, and I don't want to mess up my friendships. So I needed to just clear the air on that.
Unbelievable careers. Not that Emily did. Not that either Emily or Lindsay didn't have a careers before they blogged about this. But again, two amazing women writers doing these kinds of things.
Yeah. So anyway, New York. So it's been a while since I've been to New York, honestly, because the last time we were there, it was so gross.
Yeah, I mean, we're up because I have family up here. We got stuff that goes on up here. We're up. We go up to New York every quarter or so.
Okay.
Though it's weird. I may have to go back up to New York. I have a sister turning 60 next month. I may have to go up there for that. And we got William and Mary, my alma mater.
How can someone that's 30 years old have a 60-year-old sister?
As my one cousin says, how can my sister be 30 when she's constantly 40 and she's, older? So I may have to come up for a William and Mary thing. So, it's all I get up here. But yes, it is at least, not so much the weed smell. I don't feel as safe as I do in D.C. now. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling much, much safer in D.C. these days.
So I have not left the house in 3 weeks.
That's right. That's true. You've watched all of this.
So I'm excited to join the outdoors again. All I've basically done for the last 3 weeks is come to WMAL at 4:00 in the morning.
That's good. That's good.
Drive home.
Listen, we all have our things that get us out of the house. Listen, we will continue in just a moment, but first, it is 5:15.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Listen. Hi, everybody. I am Andrew Langer in for Larry O'Connor, along with the wonderful, talented Bethany Mandel. Hello, Bethany.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here with you. I get sick of Larry sometimes, so it's nice to change it up a little bit.
Not me. For me, the favorite thing was when I'm driving into town and I'm listening and I'm feverishly at a stoplight, of course, because I would never do this while I'm driving. I'm feverishly texting with either Larry or Julie when Julie's on about what's going on. I emailed you. I think I emailed you when you were on the air at least once of what's going on. So. boy, listen, I still am a huge Rudy Giuliani fan. As I'm in the city, as I'm walking around, I walk through the Times Square area, and it's completely transformed thanks to America's mayor. This is a bizarre story out of New Hampshire. Rudy Giuliani injured in New Hampshire car crash after aiding domestic violence victim, spokesman says. Apparently he's suffering from a fractured vertebra and laceration, seriously injured. He was flagged down by a woman fleeing a domestic violence incident, helped the woman and called 911. This is a very strange story.
It's a very strange story.
Yes.
And I think that it's an important note that spokesman said, official statement shared with Fox News Digital. I think it's important to just know the providence of the information that you're given. And so I think it's important that we knew those two things. And I'd be curious to hear more.
Yeah, yes. As would I. It is an odd situation. According to an official statement shared with Fox News Digital, Giuliani was flagged down by a woman fleeing a domestic violence incident. He helped the woman and called 911, remaining on the scene until police arrived. While traveling on the highway later, his rental vehicle was hit from behind at a high speed, which also is odd. So weirdly enough, I guess they had to make sure we were all aware of why he was in New Hampshire. Is that what makes the story strange? It seems like a weirdly unnecessary detail. I mean,
I don't know.
Go ahead.
It's also funny. He was riding in a Ford Bronco, and I didn't know that they made Ford Broncos anymore. And the only thing I ever think about Ford Broncos is the OJ.
OJ. Yes. So was it Al Cowlings who hit him from behind? That's I'm sorry. We should be making a joke about this. He'll be released in the next few days. He was riding as a passenger in the Bronco. The Honda struck the back of the Bronco. I mean, of course, listen, it could be just as simple as, somebody not paying attention, which is the way it always goes these days. His son tweeted out this. Thank you to all the people who have reached out since learning the news about my father. Your prayers mean the world. As a son, I can tell you, I'm honored to have a dad that I can call the toughest SOB I've ever seen. That's very true. I mean, this is just nuts. Speaking of the mayors of New York City, or wannabe mayors of New York City, so Zoran Mamdani's mom. All of her films were being bankrolled by the Qatari government.
Yeah.
Listen, wouldn't that be great? I mean, I think I would become a socialist if my mom's films were being bankrolled by Qatar or Qatar.
Well, I don't know if I would become a socialist, but I sure as heck would become an anti-Zionist, anti-Semite, which is what he became.
Yes. Right.
So, yeah.
No. I mean, listen, this is an interesting story here. Hamas back in Qatar has bankrolled film and by the way, do you say Qatar? You say Qatar? Do you say gutter? What do you say?
So I say Qataris and Qatar.
Okay.
So the smart people in my life call it Qatar, and I don't really know, but I just kind of copy them and hope for the best.
Yes. Listen, this is the Gene Hackman line from Heist, not funded by the Qatari government, by the way. I think of a person much smarter than I am and wonder what they would do.
So, but also Obama used to call it Pakistan.
Yes.
So who knows what's right?
That's the thing. So Hamas back in Qatar has bankrolled film and stage projects by socialist Zoran Mamdani's Israel-bashing movie director mom, and one of its royals is now pushing her son's mayoral bid. Oh, this is great. Sheikha Al-Mayasa bint Hamad Al-Thani, sister to the ruling emir, and the state-funded cultural institutions she controls have supported Mira Nair and her creative projects since at least 2009, even extending a personal invitation to participate in the cultural program the country organized as part of the festivities hosting the 2022 World Cup. This is amazing to me. The Post found extensive ties between the Queen's Assemblyman's mom and the Qatari elite, including, her 2009 film Amelia opened the first ever Doha Tribeca Film Festival. I had no idea there was a Doha Tribeca. The things we're learning today on Labor Day weekend. From 2010 to 2014, the Doha Film Institute founded by Sheikha Al-Thani, underwrote a boot camp to train Qatari students in screenwriting and filmmaking. Here's a true story, Bethany. You know, this is a thing, by the way, that a lot of wealthy elites in these nations that don't like the U.S. They are trying to create their own film industries and doing these boot camps. So, you know, many years ago, I had a conversation with a radio talk show host from the Midwest who was doing. He had been tapped by the Chinese government to help them set up some kind of a film school, multiple film schools, because the Chinese government was trying to do their own film sort of boot camps. I guess, trying to create their own legions of Leni Riefenstahls to wax the narratives here. But this is crazy stuff here.
Do you think that they're also building their own film boot camp so they can keep the gays out?
Right.
That's the irony here, is that he is so rah-rah LGBTQ plus IIAA. I don't know the letters anymore. But in Qatar, homosexuality is illegal with penalties including imprisonment. And it's not a pretty scene to be gay or lesbian in,
or a single independent woman, right? I mean, you know, Qatar's Sharia-inspired social policies, which bar women from marrying or holding government roles without a male guardian's permission, and which can punish homosexuality with torture or even death, are at odds with the progressive images Nair and Mamdani have cultivated. But I mean, listen, that's the way this works, whether it is other governments trying to undermine the U.S. with Sharia law, right, the institution of Sharia law of the United States, or to bring the values of Marxist, Leninist Maoism to the U.S., what they have in common is trying to use the social liberalism, and I mean that in the classical liberal perspective, right? The values that we hold dear about free speech to undermine our society, right? That's what it's all about for them, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's just it's wild to me because they live in this this world where they're trying to do all the things, and it reminds me of people holding up a sign like "Gays for Palestine," and I'm like.
It's absolutely
queers for Palestine.
Listen, Bethany, I have already blown out the clock here, and Michael's going to go crazy. Listen, it is 5:25 now. Traffic weather every 10 minutes. Listen, guys, we got so much more to get to today. It's going to be a glorious Labor Day. I am Andrew Langer in for Larry. We got Bethany Mandel in with me as well. Listen, is Disney ripping off families? I've been there. This was a topic of conversation. More to come. It's 5:30 a.m.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
Well, good morning, one and all. I am Andrew Langer in for Larry O'Connor here on this glorious Labor Day morning. Thank you so very much for joining us here at WMAL. We are making sense of the news. Joining me today is Bethany Mandel. Hello, Bethany.
Good morning. I want to give a shout out to everyone who has such an important job that they are awake at 5:37 in the morning on Labor Day.
Yes, and we call those people parents. So,
I mean, I would not be awake right now if I were not on the radio. Let's not lie.
But no, it's one of those things. Yeah, I would have. Probably one of my dogs would have gotten me up. In any case, listen, guys, we got a great show today. Joe DeGeneva is going to join us as he does every Monday morning. All kinds of things. I'm going to ask him why he thinks there's less of a weed smell in New York City. Mark Morano from Climate Depot. I want to talk to him about automotive kill switches. You know, they're getting rid of the stop-start. Is this what's gone wrong with your car, Bethany? Is it the stop-start?
I hate this thing so much.
Yes.
It's not why,
yes,
but it is infuriating.
Oh, yes. The thing
I think it killed my battery. I've never had a battery die in a car before. And
It's possible. Listen, so they're getting rid of those. We're going to talk to Mark Morano about that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him about that. Oh, yeah.
This is my best day.
Yes, huge. Well, I'm glad I can make your day a little better. Adam Gillette from Accuracy and Media. I know I'm butchering that name. Mario Flores, a former member of Congress from Texas. She's going to be joining us. So, Bethany, cast your Wayback Machine back a little over a year ago. I had a child graduating from college, and she wanted to go to Disney. And we did this epic Disney trip. Now, I was at a family wedding about a month before the trip, less than a month before the trip, and I ruptured my Achilles tendon. And it was terrible. And I was in a brace. It was bad. But we had enormous pressure to go on this Disney trip, to make sure that we were going to Disney World. This is what people are feeling, and it just ain't worth it, is it?
It is the opposite of worth it. I have a lot of friends who are Disney adults and it's interesting because Disney has basically, I think, changed their model to cater to adults, which is so representative of the problem in our society that even a children's theme park now caters to adults mostly.
Right.
There was a really interesting piece in the New York Times. I think it ran 2 days ago. And it sort of follows a middle-class family who have stretched their budget absolutely to its limits to go to Disney. And it's giving me heart palpitations because they have spent so much money on a day that is going to be, honestly, a disappointment. And in the piece, they talk about how one of them has mobility issues, and so she's in a scooter. So let me just read part of it. With the heat and humidity making the temperature feel closer to 108 degrees, she takes refuge in a restaurant. Ultimately, it consumes 3 precious park hours to resolve the problem with her scooter.
Yeah.
So I have done 2 European vacations with my children over the course of the last 15 months or so, and I did that more cheaply than I did a day at Disney. We did Disney a couple of years ago, and as a family, my children included, we all looked at each other at the end of it, and we were like, so that was fun, never again? Never again? Everyone on the same page, never again?
Everything gets you amped up, and it's your vacation is supposed to be about resting and recharging your batteries. Obviously, you can do things that are exciting and strenuous, but it's not supposed to be stressful. And because Disney makes it so complicated to visit the parks, right, it becomes this, well, I have to get up at midnight to sign up for my Fast Pass.
Right.
Or lightning lanes or whatever they call it now. We got to get up super early to make sure that we're there at the rope drop. Of course, now, weirdly enough, for those of you who've never been, right, if up right now and until soon from now, I think it's January, if you stay at a Disney hotel, you know, there are some days where you can go to the park early, though other folks claim that those are the parks to avoid, right? The extra magic hours, the early hours. But now they're going to, Bethany, I don't know if you've heard this, but the Disney hotels are going to start to charge for the privilege of being there super early. So
this is everything that is my worst nightmare about a possible vacation.
You know,
I get to wake up early and plan things. Oh, great! I can't wait. Sign me up.
Exactly what I'm saying. And you feel, because it is so expensive, you feel this enormous. I'll give you an example.
Yeah,
we were really fortunate. Somebody gifted us one of these behind the scenes tours one day. And it's one of those great things. Now, you don't get to experience the fun stuff at the beginning of rides, but you get to get on rides early. But we were doing all 4 parks in 7 hours, and I was in my Achilles boot that I was wearing. So I'm hobbling everywhere. We did 11 miles because we felt, I know, you poor Andrew doing 11 miles at Disney because, you know.
It's a lot.
But at the end of the day, right, you just feel like you need to get the bang for the buck. That is not what a vacation is supposed to be about. It is supposed to be about enjoying these things, isn't it?
I want to clarify that I spent a week in London and a week in Paris, and that week was the cost of what we spent for that one day.
Wow. That's insane.
I'm talking accommodations and flight was less money than we spent to go to Disney for a day. And
so it's
a week in Paris. Let's weigh that against a day at Disney. I don't know if you could pay me to go to Disney at this point. And it's funny because, like, I don't know, 8 years ago or so now, a family member decided, and I was the big jerk. So
Yes.
an elderly family member decided she wanted to bring everyone to Disney as her, like, I don't know, 80th birthday thing or something. And I had 2 little kids, and I was like, it's a no from me, dog.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. There you listen. You gotta make these. Listen, we're going to continue to talk about this, including how much of this was predicted back in the early 1970s by a couple of my favorite authors. We got more coming up. It's 5:43 on WMAL.
Tune into WMAL on Saturdays at 5:30 a.m. for the All-American Book Club Show with political veteran Eden Gordon Hill. Explore ideas and stories not driven by the mainstream media agenda as pro-America books and authors from around the country are featured each week. Eden Gordon Hill arms her listeners with the knowledge and insight needed to fight back in the war on our freedoms. So tune in Saturdays at 5:30 a.m. on 105.9 FM, the WMAL app, or online at WMAL.com.
This afternoon on the Derek Hunter Show, Democrats are going to hate you anyway. We might as well make fun of them in the process. 3 o'clock on WMAL.
I love listening to Derek. It's so much fun. Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm Andrew Langer, in for Larry O'Connor today, in for him this week, sitting alongside Bethany Mandel. And, you know, here's the thing, Bethany, about Disney. This was predicted. You know, two of my favorite authors, Warren Murphy and Dick Sapir, in a book in the early 1970s. They were. I won't even get into the plot, but the idea was that Leonid Brezhnev visited Disney World, and he basically had to mortgage the entire USSR in order to pay for the trip. And it was certainly like. But you know, I know we're going to talk about these codes that the Disney employees are using. But you know, back to this New York Times article. 14 hours later, Mrs. Kressel has experienced 9 of the park's attractions, blah, 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 blah. They leave exhausted at 11 p.m. I got to tell you something. You know, people make fun of the Hall of Presidents. They make fun of the Carousel of Progress in the Magic Kingdom itself. I found those, first of all, I love those kinds of things. But the necessary refuge, you should not have to take a vacation from your vacation, should you?
A refuge. And
yes.
I mean, it was the piece said it felt like 108 degrees.
Yes.
I cannot think of anything I would like less to do with my time than that. But I mean, the whole experience caters to upper middle class, single, you know, adults. That is the market for Disney. I don't understand the forward thinking there because my kids didn't have a great time. There's never been a conversation, let's go back to Disney. And my older 3 or 4, no, I think my older 3 remember it. And we've never wanted to go back.
Yeah, we wanted to go back. I think my wife is at a point where she doesn't want to go back anytime soon. I will tell you, because I know she's listening. Emily Borkholder knows what my secret is to being comfortable at Disney. I wear one of my kilts. I'm one of those guys.
Breezy.
Yes, it's great. So I literally she had texted me or tweeted at me yesterday wanting to know if I was going to the Virginia Scottish Highland Games, which once again I have missed. So yes.
Do you think that there's a code for that? There was a really funny piece in the New York Post about all the codes that they have at Disney
yes.
And perhaps my favorite is white powder alert.
Okay.
For when someone dies and the family's there secretly
clandestinely
spreading the ashes.
That's amazing. Yeah,
if my family hate me, yes. That's what they'll do to me, is spread my ashes at Disney. Does this make me a Scrooge that I hate Disney so much?
No, I mean, no, because they've done it to you. That's the point, is that they have made it so that they've made it so overly complicated, so difficult to do, and so expensive. No, so my favorite, my favorite is the code 82.
Aww,
that means that if you're too big because you ate too much. Because I was, listen, I think I've come close to not being able to fit on a ride back at my larger days before I lost all of my weight. My problem was, again, being on this trip and being under pressure. When you were at Disney, did they have the Blue Cats movie, the Avatar ride? Was that open?
I don't think so.
Okay. So it was open when we were there. We got to go in. I could not ride the Avatar ride because my boot would not fit into the little leg holders for it. So I was denied. And you know something? That was just fine by me. I didn't. Apparently, my family didn't. They didn't like the ride. I mean, listen, it is. They have taken the joy. I mean, but Disney's done this over the years. This should not be surprising.
And it's so funny because we haven't even gotten into the whole wokeness thing. And I think on that front, it might be getting better. It might be sort of a side effect of the Trump years that it does feel like these places are realizing that they have to depoliticize themselves. But I don't know. I mean, spending this amount of money to spend time at a place where the people hate me.
You know, listen, you raise an important point because when we were there, and this would have been 2024, so before Donald Trump got reelected, we went to the Hall of Presidents, and Donald Trump, you know, the animatronic of Donald Trump spoke, and I was genuinely shocked at how pro Donald Trump that crowd was, and I suppose I shouldn't have been.
I mean, you're in Florida.
Yes, that's right. It is 5:53 here on O'Connor and Company, WMAL.